in Wilder Days, I wouldn't want to risk your place having to fight against him once more. It's even better if you can just come out with a win against him right now, as we have got Elazer in the bottom right and ShoWTimE in the bottom left. I grabbed someone's camera at the start there, and I'm not meant to do that because if you do that, then obviously you get twists and turns and places you don't want to be, and then my camera bugged out. So sorry for that. Bit of a weird intro. But yeah, Blackburn for map number 1. Always, you know, for how long it's been in the map pool, I still don't know what I want to talk about when it comes to Blackburn PvZ. It feels like a map where almost anything goes a little bit. You know? It's one of those kind of crazy little things where I feel like this map can create, you know, big Stargate games. You can see a lot of Adept games. You can see Zergs that push. What is known is that there's a very limited amount of pushing options, so you don't have a lot of directions to push in, and that does favor the defensive game a lot, if you can get past some of the earlier pushes, which can be quite powerful. Are there any Wardy Hype t-shirts coming in soon? We do have Wardy Hype t-shirts on the merch store. It has like a little Wardy Hype, and like it's not like a full shirt Wardy Hype emote, but it's like it's got like the little Wardy Hype in the corner. It's pretty cute. I have one. I haven't worn it in a while. It might be at like the bottom of the washing baskets or something as well. So yeah, I mean I do have one though. It's actually one of my favorite shirts. It's very nicely fitting and stuff. And this doesn't just to make you buy it. Just it genuinely is a nice shirt. I honestly, most of the shirts I make is oh, the Wardy Hype t-shirts are currently unavailable? Really? Oh. I wonder if it's because they don't have the stock of the t-shirt it's set up on. Is that the case? Oh, I see. Yeah, maybe I can do it on a different t-shirt probably. I can probably just copy the design onto a different t-shirt. Yeah, maybe I'll do that if you remind me on. Yeah, it's probably just that they don't have that t-shirt or so in stock right now, I suppose. Yeah. But yeah, I don't really... I don't make a lot of money off merch and stuff, guys, so I'm really not trying to, like, hardcore sell you guys to buy a t-shirt. But it is genuinely, if you're wondering about it, like, they are generally pretty comfortable and stuff, so... Yeah, I'll look into that and maybe set up a different one while those ones aren't in stock or so. Oh, as we get ourselves up and running, there's a Void Ray on the way out from ShoWTimE. Otherwise, creep spread just kind of being set up here, there, and everywhere. That's going to be seeing our healing speed coming through as well from Elazer. Not really too much to go screaming about super early on in this game. It's pretty much your standard Oracle opening PvZ. Now, ShoWTimE does love Oracle openers, and he loves to play triple Oracle. That is something we see a lot of the time, so maybe we'll see a little bit of triple Oracle here from him. Honestly, I would expect it more than double Stargate Void. ShoWTimE is not a player that really adopted the double Stargate Void meta as much as a lot of other people did, right? Oh, sorry, there's already a Void Ray out, so I'm just being stupid. You don't play triple Oracle with a Void Ray. So that should be actually maybe a double Stargate this time around if he wants to continue with this, unless he wants to go and focus on the ground. But he's going to start +1 air weapon, so it is going to be double Stargate. So yeah, ShoWTimE, he's not somebody that I would say does this, like, you know, he's not a max packs. He's really been doing this every single game. It's obviously one of the strengths of ShoWTimE that he's always happy to mix in all these different builds, and he's happy to have a variety of builds, and he's so good at mastering so many. So this looks as though it will be double Stargate Void this time around. Yeah, always excited to see what ShoWTimE has to bring. Like I say, I wouldn't say he's like a master of this as much so as someone like Max Pax, who plays it all the time. But has got some power, being able to mix it up and stuff like that for sure, as we do have our Oracle flying through, and is just going to drop a little Revelation over on the natural expansion. So it's going to drop that down, get that set up. And otherwise, we are just continuing to build up right now. Robo Facility, a Stargate, and a Forge all on the way in from our Protoss. So actually just going to be pretty, like, maybe a pretty low Void Ray count. Like, maybe we only go to, like, 4 or so, and then we actually just focus on the ground army. Depends exactly. He might just go Cannon Robo Bay, in which case, actually, yes, you're going to keep on building Void Rays and alongside Disruptors. So there's a few options there from ShoWTimE, as you are going to be seeing the lair. Already on the way out from Elazer, meaning that he's ready to tech up a little bit himself. He's looking toward the future and all of the wonderful things that the lair is going to bring you as well. That's going to be seen out there then, not far from finishing. Our 10 drones continuing through, and our queen going to be finished in a moment or so from Elazer also. Still just morphing in on the main base. Now Oracle happy to drop a revelation here, drop a revelation there. All that kind of stuff at the moment, as we just have got the couple of other Void Rays going to continue out around that left-hand side. Roaches on the way out, +1 missiles coming through, and that roach speed all building up as well. So all of this just continues into play. And we are going to see a Fleet Beacon and a 3rd Stargate. So we are actually just going to go. This is what MaxSpecs has been doing so much of lately. This is kind of just the straight, a Super Sky Toss build. You get the Robo Base, you get Disruptors. They help you so much on the ground as well. It does, goes a long, long way, guys. This is a very fun game we're going to have, because Elazer is really just happy to play the longer game too. Infestation Bit coming through means that he doesn't really have too many aggressive intentions, unless he's about to start a massive swarm hosts, which would be ludicrous against the air army, of course. He just had a lot of money stacked, so I was like, well, what are you going to do? Maybe. It's not impossible if you got that much money just sat around. We actually have Pathogen Glands starting up, as well as the Hive already coming in. So, yeah, just like I say, thinking about the future, and basically Elazer looking to play a pretty long game in this CVP, while ShoWTimE obviously is going to kind of go along with that too. So we might have to kind of buckle our seatbelts and, settle down, because we might be in for another long series tonight. This group is delivering so far. Gotta say that much at least. There goes a couple of voids to the upper left corner. Carrier still producing +1 attack upgrade, and the +2 air weapons will also continue in, as our Twilight Council will be finishing up soon. A couple of cannons on the way out from ShoWTimE, bringing those up. As our Spy is halfway done, our Hive is about to finish. Our +1 melee upgrade also coming into play. And that Baneling Nest still coming through from Elazer as well. It's just getting the Bane Nest up and running. Ooh, a pause though. Hopefully nothing too serious here for Elazer. Hopefully just a moment or two, and we'll be able to resume action in this first map of our best of 3 winner match in today's WardiTV Summer Championship European Preliminaries. How are we doing in the chat, everybody? Again, hope you're all still feeling good, feeling energy. Who are we all cheering on? As you got a moment or two for Elazer pausing up? I want to hear who you guys are cheering and supporting in this series. Do you guys want to see ShoWTimE through to the finals already, or do you want to see Elazer? Maybe you guys want to see that Elazer Akron rematch. I kind of do. I want ShoWTimE to win, because I kind of want to see if Elazer can kind of deal with Akron a little bit better in the lower bracket this time, or if we're going to have just an epic at TvZ the second time around. So that's where my preference kind of lies right now. That's where I'm kind of thinking for this. Let's see how it plays out, though. Pizza delivery. There must have... I'm pretty sure we've had Korean players for sure who have had, like, food delivery when they've been playing and they had to pause. Just gonna see our carriers and voids are gonna fire up a storm, and already those queens being pushed back. I mean, this first push is kind of scary. Like, you got a lot of queens, sure. You got Infestor support, but the Vipers don't have energy yet. There's potential to trade up a little bit here, especially as extra carry shot. Microbial Shroud dropping down. Well, now it's time to just fight away from that Microbial Shroud. That would generally be the best way to approach this. More Shrouds in the mineral line. I like that there was a spawn on the other side of that mineral line too, to kind of stop units from just hanging over the minerals and harassing. I like that position of the spawn. Unfortunately, it dies, but it was kind of meant to be a sacrifice, right? More than anything else, so I like that. And hey, what's up, K Momsky? Thank you so much for your Prime sub for 4 months. Welcome back. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you so much for supporting. A void's come through and another creep tumor or two going down as the Spore Crawler Forest begins to build out of Elazer. So he gets himself set up with the Spore Crawlers. ShoWTimE just readies himself for the proper late game. Obviously, Storm is just a little bit more reliable than Disruptors, and it also works against air units, so typically it is an investment you want to go towards as the game progresses. So ShoWTimE takes that step as obviously other upgrades continue through. He's even added on an Immortal. I'm intrigued about the Immortal, actually, and how those build into this game. Because, I mean, are they just something to help out on the ground, help clean through, maybe pick away at Infestors if they can get on top of them? I actually don't know. Maybe it just is that kind of setup where it's like, well, I'm happy with my air army, but I don't want like a pure air army. I want like a hybrid force where I do have like something sturdy on the ground. So if you do outmatch me in the skies, I can maybe just win because I've got too much on the ground as well. That is a thing that happens sometimes where people just kind of, you know, the Corruptors kill everything. And it's like, oh, but now I've got 20 Corruptors and no Great Aspire against someone that's got Immortal Archon. And maybe it's because he's using these Shrouds, so he's going to focus more on the ground army to be able to fight units out of those Shrouds, because obviously the Shrouds only help against damage from the sky. So maybe that's the idea, that ShoWTimE just says, well, if if you're going to play Microbial Shroud, I'm going to play around that just like this. We are going to be seeing our Mortal Archon continuing forward. Some Fungals going down, but it just feels as though ShoWTimE's army is not going to be stopped right now. That Disruptor says goodbye to 2 of the Infestors. And that was a FF instead of a GG, a forfeit instead of a good game. Yeah, I think that was just obviously a typo. Begins, which will be 7th of September. So loads of Starcraft coming up until then. As we are going to see the top right Red Protoss player ShoWTimE is taking the 1-0 lead in this best of 3. As in the bottom left, our blue Zerg will be Elazer. Let's see what this series will bring us. Do 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 do. You hope you get your holidays so you can watch the whole show live. Yeah, the season final should be great. You guys, if you guys didn't hear, by the way, awesome change for the season final. They switched the schedule so that actually now it's not played over 4 days. Instead, it's played over 6 days. So we actually have every single group on the main stream, which I think is an amazing change, personally. I always think more days to cover every group is great. So I think that's an incredible change for the season finals. So yeah, that's gonna be freaking awesome. No more having to swap over to the B stream and stuff. Hey, Stabilo Boss 20, thank you so much for that Prime sub. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And Jerome moves around, back over to the left, trying to see what's going on. Hey, what's up, Primate? Thank you so much for the 15-month resub. Let's just get things continuing to settle down once again here. Just a little bit of kind of weighing around. Kind of excited to see what comes out of the Stargate. If we're going to see the same again, or maybe something a little bit different this time around. I guess we'll see very soon. Rexo69 dropping the fresh sub as well. Guys, people are just subbing up like crazy today. I really appreciate the love, guys. Thank you so very much. Thank you for all the positivity. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, sorry, just something just came up and I just had to sort something out. I'll talk a bit more about that after this series, exactly what it is, but sorry, just a little bit disconnected for the first couple of minutes here. Something that's to do with this event, so it's not something I can just leave and shrug off till later, so sorry for that. Just a little bit of silence for a while. Now you see now Voidray pushing the Lings back through the upper left-hand corner of the map, so they're going to get chased away. A couple of drones going down as our Oracle gets hit onto just that little bit. And you see a Revelation going to drop on down as well. Just keeping an eye on things. Recto69 dropping that sub before he's even typed anything in the chat. Wow. That's what we call passion, guys. Sub first, talk later. That's words to live by, am I? Yeah, I mean, I guess that's words to live by because I just see it as money. And you all know that Wardy's just a greedy money maker, right, guys? Exactly. ShoWTimE's going to play double Stargate again. Honestly, I mean, I honestly went on a bit of a not really a tirade, right? But I did suggest that ShoWTimE's not as much of a double Stargate player. And in my eyes, he really isn't. But he's obviously bringing it today against Elazer. So, yeah. It's going to be a little bit wonky. I was just going to be seeing our queens continuing through, moving up towards the upper left-hand side. These other Lings going to wrap around, and we have a couple of cannons being killed off. These Voids coming through, and a couple of Lings just going to be zapped at. Lings and Rav just continuing in, as this is going to be a straight-up queen walk from Elazer to try and end this one early, so a completely different setup here this time around. Let's see how this goes. There's a couple of queens going in after, and Adept just going to be pushing through a little bit right now. Let's see what's going to happen. It's going to be seeing our Roaches fighting, our Queens coming through. Our Void Rays are going to be taking a whole bunch of damage. And, yeah, I mean, Ling Roach Ravages continues through. So, I mean, this looks bad for ShoWTimE. He does not have the battery count up just yet. His Robo isn't done for now. He needs these batteries to buy him so much time. Time in which he can get up to the Robo facility, etc. And, actually get that up into place. So setting this up and just going to be seeing our Lings and our Ravages continuing through. I was going to see our other Voids still in some trouble, and that's going to be GG from ShoWTimE, and Elazer will tie this up 1-1. That will. So yeah, basically this has now just become a best of 7 because whoever would win this map would have just started the next series up 1-0 in a best of 5. Which, like I say, makes this a best of 7. It would have been different if it was like 2-0 already and the series was over, because then it's a little bit different. So we're just going to make this a best of 7 instead. So yes, that's the last one, just double explain to the observers and stuff again. So this is just going to turn into a best of 7, guys. Like I say, as I've just typed to them, it's essentially meant to be a best of 7 anyway, only the loser was meant to go through another match. But if that match is going to be a free win, then we may as well just make this a best of 7 now. So that's what we're going to do. The players agreed to it. Elazer wasn't happy because he has to play Romanticide. He was relatively upset. He was like, well, can we re-veto? And ShoWTimE said, well, we can re-veto and not play Romanticide, as long as you don't queen all in. At which Elazer just said, actually, let's just go for the full best of 7. So that seems to be the way in which we'll get set up here. That's going to be how it goes. So this is just going to be a best of 7 to finish the day, guys. I'm sorry that this is very confusing. Like I say, this is like, it obviously wasn't really meant to be like this. Just something came up. We're just trying to make the best of a bad situation. And I think this is the most elegant solution. Like I say, it's basically, it would have been the exact same if we just continued and gave the free win and we start the best of 5 again. In theory, it would have been the exact same. Just there, we would have had a fresh set of vetoes, which is actually what Elazer kind of wanted, whereas ShoWTimE's like, well, no, let's just play the best of 7, man. Let's stop fucking around. So yeah, both of these two are essentially now top 2 here today. They will get $50 second place and $100 first place. They're both in the playoffs, and they're both going to the main event. So, I mean, in that regard, it's not really too surprising. We expected these guys to be kind of, this is what we expected to come down to anyway. Just unfortunate we had a forfeit in that lower finals, and like I said, that's nothing to... don't blame the players, guys. I'm sure, like always, that these guys have very good reasons, and something came up, and like I said, I don't invite players to my events if they just screw me around, so... there's a couple people I don't invite nowadays because they've just screwed me around a lot in the past. So, usually this is just a case of, genuinely something came up, genuinely something happened that no one was expecting, and like I say, it's unfortunate they don't get to play another series. So yes, apologies for that. Obviously now I spent like 3 minutes explaining this, but hopefully it's a little bit clearer for everybody. As 2 Adepts are going to shade up in towards the main base. A couple of Adepts going to escape out over here. And thank you so much, Duckling Rush, for the 93 bits. Did I miss any other shoutouts? I think I missed Super Mario SC2 on the fresh new sub as well. Thank you so much for that. I think I might have missed that just because I was getting caught up in trying to figure out what we were going to do. So yeah, welcome to now what is a best of 7. Oh, okay, well, like I say, it works out in the end. And hopefully we get a couple long games to wrap up with here as well, because I wouldn't like this to just be super quick, That would be a little sad, as we do see our Adept shading in. 4 drones already going down, now 5 and now 6, so a lot of damage being done. Make that 7, and we got the Lings still chasing here as 8 workers fall. Now the Oracle shows up. My goodness, this is ridiculous early game damage. 12 workers going down is unheard of early game. That is 4 minutes into the game with 12 dead drones. That is not an economy you're meant to be playing with as a Elazer. And ShoWTimE, as he goes into a second and third Oracle, is likely to find even more drones still as we continue through. So this got out of hand extremely quickly. That's going to be problematic, that is for sure. I don't think this is going to be too pretty. I think this is actually going to be a little bit sucky, to be quite honest with you. Elazer, what the hell are we going to do here? How are we going to fight our way back out of this? I genuinely don't know, actually. I don't really know. Let's see. This is how my games start in Gold League. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, sometimes this just happens, right? Things get a bit crazy, things get a little bit wild. As we do have the couple of Oracles moving their way through toward the main base. Why do drones pros sometimes not pull their drones in situations like that with the Adepts? If you believe you're going to kill the Adepts fast enough, it's probably a situation of, well, if I pull the drones, I'm losing mining, and I'm still going to lose drones because the Adepts will chase the drones down and just shade. If I keep mining, at least I'm still mining, right? I believe that's generally going to be the logic there, where it's just like, you're kind of just adding lost mining time into the whole thing, and you're probably not going to save many more drones anyway by just pulling them away, so... As you can see, our Oracle's escaping away. Our drones are, our Adepts are backing out of there. The triple Oracle Adept attack didn't do too much in itself. And Elazer finally is tipping the scales back into his favor when it comes to the work account here, just about, at least he was before he had to start up 4 extractors for his next part of the game plan. I love this from ShoWTimE. Dropping Revelations to clear our creep. He will probably lose these Adepts now. 2 of them go down, 1 of them gets away. So yeah, we do start to lose the Adepts there. I was just going to be seeing our Oracles falling back as well. They're obviously still going to be very annoying throughout this game as well, so something else to watch out for sure. We'll see how effective they can be over time. Oracles will hang around into the center of the map. And we are going to be seeing them just being used, of course, for a lot of map control as well, dropping those Revelations down. Got a few Lings out down the left-hand side as well, so they're trying to stick around and see what opportunities they can find too as our Oracles escape away from the main base. A couple force fields go down, a couple of Lings getting picked off, and some hallucinations are going to pop up, and they are going to start to move out a little bit as well. Nexus will drop down to the left-hand side. I'm going to drop down a new hatchery in the upper left-hand corner as well. And so we are just going to be seeing the roaches continuing through. So roaches continuing up. Roach speed is on the way. And we are going to be having our infestation pit about to complete as well. Now, a Dark Shrine starts from ShoWTimE. He's obviously playing a very different style to what we saw in the first 2 games, right? So, Dark Shrine setting up for some DT play. I mean, that in general is the sort of stuff we're expecting to see a lot more of as this advances through. Just going to see our oracles turning back around through the top, and they are going to escape through the top of the map out to the upper left-hand corner. Temple Archive sets up as well. It's just going to get that started from ShoWTimE as our +2 attack also coming in. Some gateways coming up. And just going to be seeing our Hive, our Spire. All that good stuff continuing up as well. So just bringing all of this through. As we do have our army of ShoWTimE moving across that right-hand side. Going to see a couple of additional units warping in to help with this charge. About to finish up as our units want to move up this ramp. We'll drop another Revelation down, keeping track of things here. Elazer is not going to be in too much trouble. I think he's okay to kind of defend against this. I don't think that's going to be a major problem. It's just going to be seeing a group of additional High Templar continue to warp in. 4 Archons will begin to move through as well. And just going to be seeing our Blink starting up as well. So just going to be getting going. And our Evolution Chambers just going to be finishing too. So we can go into more upgrades from Elazer, who gets supply blocked of all things right now. Actually wasn't quite expecting to be supply blocked here. But yeah, I guess it makes sense, obviously, just with how timings are playing out. Not a big deal. I mean, Overlord's won the way and stuff. Just so weird to see someone get supply blocked at that moment. It's like they're so close to being maxed. Usually they just kind of pull the trigger and they just go up to the maxed amount of Overlords anyway. I don't know. They just caught me as like a weird moment to get supply blocked. Anyway, not a big deal. Making a way bigger deal of it by mentioning it so much. We're just going to be seeing our army of ShoWTimE still pushing. I mean, in theory, Elazer's tech is just way later than it should be because of the bad economy early in the game. So that's something to keep in mind, and that's why you might start to struggle, especially as Zealots go up over here. That's something you got to go deal with while this army pushes. So you're not going to have everything to deal with this Archon count. And you can just see it takes a while for these Zealots to get responded to. They got 4 drones, they did some good damage. That's a dead mineral line. Banespeed finishes up just in time for some rolling action. As Banelings roll in and probes take a lot of hits, there is going to be a Greater Spire killed off. So that's actually an amazing kill, at least for ShoWTimE. Removing the Greater Spire just gets rid of one of the main things you don't want to be dealing with. Broodlords do require you to just change your army composition up a lot. So really nice just to be able to get rid of them already. Yeah, you know, obviously it's still possible they get brought in, but it's going to take so long to build a Spire. Then you got to build the Greater Spire. It takes such a long time, so that is actually generally pretty good news here for ShoWTimE. Probably one of the best things you could find in that attack in the main. Here we go with this fight breaking out. Oracles are just going to sit overhead and do so much. Stalkers now have Blink, and they're going to start being brought in as reinforcements as well, so they're going to continue to make their way through on this. Yeah, just nice little, nice few units to show up and just help out. Elazer supply is struggling, and again, he was never meant to be in a pretty position after everything that happened early on here, right? And that's generally just what we are seeing. As we do have our army of ShoWTimE starting to move out towards the upper side. We will get a hatchery down top left, and a hatchery also into the 3 o'clock position. Roach Ravager Bane splitting up a little bit. Just going to be seeing our army moving up the ramp as the Queen goes down. Just going to see a couple of Oracles picking away at some of these Banelings, and we are going to be seeing the +2 missiles, our +2 melee continuing up. Another Stargate on the way through, and our Fleet Beacon really not far from finishing either as our army sweeps around this right-hand side. ShoWTimE comes pushing on in. The Spankrol's in some trouble. A couple of Vials going to go amazingly straight onto an Archon at least. Those Banes are going to find good value towards the back of this army. And the counterattack from Elazer is starting to break through the wall on the other side. I guess we'll check in on that soon. But right now, Elazer isn't quite holding at the front. Yeah, this is going to be pushed back over there. So that is really nice to be able to hold that from ShoWTimE. Reinforcements from Elazer probably clean this up, though. I mean, ShoWTimE does not have... I mean, he's starting to bring his units across the map as reinforcements. So they're on the way. It's not here yet, as obviously drones are going to try and buy a bit of time. Zealot will get in front of these Immortals. He needs to pull that Immortal back, but he's looking elsewhere. Only one Immortal. It's a very low-tech army all of a sudden from ShoWTimE. He's got so much money to spend, though. If you could spend the 1.8k, 1.3k in his bank and just bring it into this fight right now, it's not even a competition. You know, even just any kind of warp-ins, but yeah, I mean, at least you've got a lot of gas, so we'll see more Archons in the future. For now, just more Stalkers and Zealots, and we're just going to try and Zealot Stalker our way through. I don't know if that's going to work, and I don't mind it because I think you can at least do very well with this. I don't think you're going to break through, and it just may be worth backing away and giving it a moment or two and just rebuilding, because again, once you spend all of this money as ShoWTimE, this isn't a fair fight anymore. But it is a fair fight because Elazer gets faster reinforcements into the trades, he gets better, you know, he's just bringing low-tech units in against low-tech units. You know, it's just, you know, things that shouldn't quite be in Elazer's favor kind of are, because ShoWTimE decided to keep on trying to attack. So yeah, ShoWTimE going to start spending some of that money now. Not sure where it fell apart for him in that macro, maybe just missed a warp-in cycle. It did get a bit crazy. Obviously, this attack went on a while. He was trying to defend on his third base at the same time, so it kind of became a whole thing, as you are going to be seeing the Roach Ravager escaping back up the right side of the map. Stalker's coming back through to the top left-hand corner. I mean, what do we have still, though? It's just pure Stalker and a few Immortals. There we go. 10 High Temple, yes. These are the Archons I've been waiting for, because he's just had so much gas. Instantly, this army is 5 times more terrifying. Every Archon doubles up or amplifies the scariness factor of this army. And I really do think it does. I was just going to be seeing the Roach Ravager is obviously low-tech as well. It really works on the idea of overwhelming, but overwhelming that amount of Archons is just not going to be an easy job for Elazer. As we do continue to fight here, we do go up against each other, and it should just be ShoWTimE winning out, and it is ShoWTimE winning out. So all goes as expected in the final fight, as ShoWTimE goes 2-1 in this best of 7 now. Again, if you missed that, we had a couple 4. Game number 4. So we're going to have in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, our blue Zerg player is Elazer. And he is down 1-2 in this best of 7. Is in the top left, it's our red Protoss, ShoWTimE. You don't think you used that one before? No, there's no... I remember it too vividly, so if it wasn't you, then I'm sorry, someone else used it too recently. Just getting this up as we get this started. Excuse me, clear my throat a little bit as wait for a bit of action on Lightshade. Does it change map vetoes at all? So this was the discussion we had, where the only thing is if we did a best of 3 then we reset it into a best of 5, we would have had a different set of vetoes, right? Because obviously the best of 5 would have had a fresh set of vetoes. In the end, they agreed just to do the best of 7 and use the maps that haven't been used yet. I think it just makes more sense. Elazer was complaining about Romanticide. So Elazer complained about Romanticide, and ShoWTimE complained that best of 7 is worse for Protoss overall anyway. So they both had their grievances with best of 7. But then they both agreed to do the best of 7 instead of like reset into a best of 5. So now we're just doing losers picks from the maps that were originally vetoed. So Elazer picked this map, and whoever loses this game can pick the next game, and so on and so forth. So that's basically where we're at. So yeah, it makes a minor difference, but I mean, I still personally prefer that it's just a little bit more streamlined. I don't think the players are genuinely too upset about it. I think they'll get over it if not. Like I say, it saves them a bit of time as well, because they don't have to go through a lower bracket final or anything. It guarantees them already being in the finals today, into the playoffs tomorrow, and all of that kind of stuff as well. But I mean, obviously for us it's nice, because then we actually get to see all the different maps, rather than just seeing multiple maps played, you know, because, you know, otherwise the start of the best of 5 probably would have just been, you know, 3 of the maps we already seen just played all over again, so... Yeah, in our eyes, it's actually way better for us. So from a viewer perspective, I think it's better overall. I like seeing the different maps a bit. That's one of the nice things about a best of 7, getting to see all the maps used in a matchup between 2 players. I think that's a little bit neater. Again, when we do finish up the games today, guys, we will do a live drawing of the bracket that will play out tomorrow. So make sure you stick around for that in case you're interested to see exactly who will play who tomorrow right away. So obviously, make sure you keep your eyes out for that one. Like I say, we'll do that just whenever the games finish up tonight. Obviously, just we'll go pretty much straight into that. Will I also draw it? Or like randomly? Or are you trying to be funny slowly? Did I say something dumb? Oh my god. How is this happening again? If at first you lose 12 workers, only lose 7 the next time around. That is, that ain't meant to happen. I mean, it wasn't meant to happen the first time. 7 drones are still way too many to be losing. I mean, you killed 2 adepts, you've lost 8 lings, 7 drones. I mean, that's an absolute disaster. Absolute disaster. Well, at least this early game needs to get a little bit better. I mean, you lose 2, 3 drones to this, sure. Maybe 4, maybe 5, but 7's like really just on the high end. Obviously, we maybe would have been like, oh god, like in this game if it hadn't happened last game, but because he lost so many last game too, it's still a hot topic as well, right? So, yeah. Hey, Mythbuster is, sorry, 2 more depths coming in, 3 more depths, sorry, and they are going to keep getting damage. Oh my god. That's now 12 drones. This is now 13. No, he's actually going to go for the Zerglings, wow. I think you cancel the Shade. Well, I guess not. Okay, 14 workers go down in total. Jeez, guys, I mean, I honestly don't have a vocabulary to describe how bad that is. It's just... it's devastating. It is not... I mean, everything that happened last game... Elazer was just behind for all of it because of similar damage. And now Oracles get more. Oh, God. Hey, Mythbuster, thank you so much for the 47-month resub. Always good to see you, dude. And thank you so much for almost being at that 4-year marker. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Obviously, Elazer's going to stay in this. I feel like this is one of those games where if you're on the ladder, you're just kind of like, do I just leave? In a tournament, you're going to stick it out and try and make it work right. You're going to try and fight your way back into it, but it is not going to be pretty. Yeah, just a quick reminder, as a lot of people are obviously asking just again what's going on. Basically, in our lower bracket, Acheron had to forfeit. Something came up, and he was very apologetic and just said, really sorry. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. And then Art, who we could have replaced him with, who lost to Acheron, he obviously already thought he was eliminated, so he actually joined a different tournament, so he's not available either. So that's why we made this a best of 7 instead of doing the whole lower bracket thing and stuff. So yeah, a quick explanation once again. Sorry if you've heard it 10 times already, but obviously some people are just coming back and haven't heard it before, and you know, it's always nice to keep everybody up in the loop. So yeah, a couple of drones going down again. Man, it's just a worker massacre. I mean, there's really not much more to say to it. It's hard to really get analytical elsewhere in this game when 5 adepts have killed 20 drones and 12 Zerglings. Oh, slowly falling, trolling the chat. You know what? That's a timeout right there. Intentional trolling. Unbelievable. Typical slowly. Just feels like she can control the chat. Feels like she's invulnerable. It's been a while since we timed out slowly. I felt it was due. Sorry, I didn't redeem my channel points. There you go. Sorry, slowly. I just couldn't resist. I don't know. I'm just in a bit of a trolley mood myself. I apologize. Oh, you went so long without being timed out as well. It must have been a while, right? I feel like I've been rather nice to you lately, but maybe that's because we haven't streamed a lot. Maybe you've just not had the chances to ban you. Oh, I'm a bad person. know the worst bit is slowly watches in mod mode, so when she gets banned, she gets unmodded, so she gets kicked out the stream. Oh, here we go. Big attack from Elazer coming across. The power of this map is the ability to walk across quickly. This Disruptor's in trouble. The Disruptor not being on the low ground is very problematic, and one big burst from Elazer might just undo all of the work ShoWTimE did early game. ShoWTimE, the problem is he invested into the Disruptors, which just didn't do anything until this one. Oh, he's got DTs. He's got Dark Templar swiping away. There's no Overseer here right now. The DTs are starting to save ShoWTimE, slowly but surely. And there's still not an Overseer on the way, I believe. Uh-oh, this Disruptor just got itself walled out. A DT is holding the wall, and finally Elazer realizes that DTs are here, so he's finally going to notice that he's actually being killed all the way throughout this. And ShoWTimE comes out of a very tricky position and actually is able to start making a bit of a hold. Well, a bunch of Archons morph in. That will go a long way. This Disruptor shot hits beautifully. Oh, but the Archons get piled down already, killed before they can morph and move. Obviously helps a whole bunch. There's going to be enough from Elazer. After a horrible start, the timing will win it out. Sorry, I banned slowly at a bad timing. Got myself distracted when the fight started. I was memeing too heavily in the chat. Game, as it is romanticized ShoWTimE's map pick, as he lost the last game. So let's kick this off in the top left-hand side of romanticide with our blue Zerg player Elazer. Picking on the red Protoss bottom right-hand corner of the map, ShoWTimE. Game number 5. Again, this is now best of 7, just to wrap up the stream today and to figure out who is first and second in this group. And like I say, we'll be drawing the playoffs after this as well, so we will have our bracket ready for us once this one is done. Again, that will be ShoWTimE. Now we know who's going to play. ShoWTimE, Elazer, Max Pax, Vanya, Lambo, Bly, Soul, and Mana. Soul, please, please, please get somebody you can win against, because I need some Terran to get past the round of 8. At least in the main event, we have a bunch of Terrans because, the Youth Thermal qualified from the pool party, and there's a bunch of Terrans in Korea, but there is a Terran deficit in Europe. This is what happens when Clem doesn't show up, man. That's what happens when Clem don't show up. Maybe we're just unlucky. A lot of the Terrans that would usually play in this kind of event are just taking a break after DreamHack, or just not quite able to play this time around, and just a few unfortunate moments. Guys, just BRB like 1 second. Special? The special is obviously in Korea, and this is a European server tournament, so obviously not too, it wouldn't really match up very well. Adept comes over. I mean, geez, I just really hope we don't see 20 Adepts go down, 20 drones go down again to Adepts and stuff. I know Elazer was able to bring it out last time, but that's the sort of thing which ShoWTimE let slip once. I don't think it happens again, so I think Elazer just has to be much better in the setup these games around. These times around in these games now. Just needs to solidify that defense that we were kind of talking about a little bit earlier as well. But we're going to find the Overlord as it takes a bit of a move out to the side. Hero Marine's busy. He can't play this week, guys. Trust me, I invited everybody. It's too late now. Everyone's already, the tournament's already had all the invites done. But yeah, well, like I say, everyone was busy. Trust me, I invited everybody I knew that was Terran. That was like out of the top Terrans. I know obviously there was other Terrans that didn't make it through, but trust me, I really did the work. Hey, what's up, Vanilla Beer? Thank you so much for the 7-month resub on the Prime. I really appreciate it. Don't know why ShoWTimE didn't have an army after what he did. You should know Elazer would not play a macro game. But I mean, you say that, but literally the game before, Elazer played a macro game after losing not quite as many workers. He lost more initially, but less after. He still lost a lot. So then Elazer still played a macro game. So, you know, you're saying surely he expects him to not play one, but he actually literally just did play one in a very similar situation. So, yeah, it's kind of a I guess it's kind of just up in the air. Like, it's one of those things where ShoWTimE, maybe he read something wrong, he scouted something, he thought he was okay to be as greedy as was being. Obviously, we now know that wasn't okay, but that's the beauty of Starcraft, and that's the difficulty of Starcraft. That's what makes it such a frustrating game to play, is that there are so many aspects to it. It isn't just as simple as, oh, I killed your workers, I win the game, thank you. No, there's other parts to it, and there's sometimes waves back into game. There's comeback potential. That's what makes the game exciting and fun and interesting. If the game always ended because the first player who lost workers died, and that's just it, too much damage done, the game wouldn't be very interesting, because every game would be over at 5 minutes, right? How are these adepts doing so much damage every time? We are back to now 9 drone kills in this game. Queen Walk on Romanticide. This is funny because they were talking before about when they were saying, when Elazer was saying, I don't want to play Romanticide, and you know, ShoWTimE was saying, well, we won't play Romanticide if you don't Queen Walk, and Elazer says, well, fine then. He says, you can have your Romanticide, we'll play best of 7, at least you won't get Queen Walk there. And now he's actually Queen Walking here on Romanticide, so here we go. With Queen Roach Ravager pushing through, let's see how it works. I mean, it's a long map, so there's been a lot of preparation time for ShoWTimE. And as you see, those voids starting to work on this. Couple more voids on the way up. That's going to be seeing 5 probes already going down. The first cannon looks as though it's going to fall pretty quick. So much of the stack defense just isn't ready yet. And now some of it will get biled down as it does come up for the first time. Voids are going to go after those queens. If they can win the fight on those queens, they obviously can then just pick off everything else without further issue, really. And it's kind of a mix. Like, you want to try and slow down the ground army a bit, but then also make sure the queen count doesn't get out of control. So you're trying to, you know, pick away. Sometimes you back away and you get rid of a bit of Roach Ravager Ling. Sometimes you kind of just go up and fight the queens. Super Battery here lasts a little while. As you can see, that ShoWTimE has generally been backing it up, but he's actually going to end up losing the 3rd base. He will clear out. The Voidra is obviously now going to win this fight. The queens will get one more Void as ShoWTimE, yeah, he just pulled it back, so he will keep it alive. ShoWTimE down a base, but obviously defending this generally puts him into a good position with a lot of Voidras against someone that just lost all of their anti-air. So counterattack potential is there from ShoWTimE, but because Elazer got the base, maybe that's enough to somehow or somewhat recover from this. What's coming through, some Lings getting chipped away out. We are going to see some more drones in production. Now, Infestation Pit is building as well. As we do have our Voids just coming through the center and cleaning up a bit of creep. I mean, Elazer is about 10 workers up, taking a 4th base right now as ShoWTimE resets his 3rd. ShoWTimE has an Oracle here to help against the Lings. Mostly you just don't want to get this 3rd base recancelled. A few probes going down obviously sucks. And that's nice for Elazer to get as well, as we are going to see more of these Lings continue to drop off. Void's just going to instantly kill the 4th. This is what I mean about just not really having the kind of anti-air, right? Yeah, the queens can move over here, but they couldn't get to the 4th because there was no creep toward the 4th. All the creep was down to the bottom of the map. So yeah, that did become a little bit of a problem as this next Voidra comes up. Gonna go flying as an egg gets picked off and Overlord gets cancelled. There we go. Queen's gonna start fighting those Voidras. Gonna have to take a turn tail and run. I mean, Infest is on the way up. Elazer fighting himself into a position. I just feel like ShoWTimE does recover pretty well from what happened earlier, and I think that is more or less a part of the problem here at the end of the day. Queens and drones go moving around. Just going to see how Voids continue now down through the south side of the map. And, yeah, I mean, obviously just a couple more high tempo hatch. You're going to finish morphing down on the south. So, a couple more of those coming through. And we do have that 4th hatch actually double building a 4th hatch. One on the left side, one on the top side. So, saying, hey, you can kill one, but I'll just have the other. I mean, at some point, it actually does just get to the point where you may as well double expand. It just makes the most sense, given the situation. Is this base Well, the Queens are nearby, but the Zealots are here to back this up as well, so maybe this isn't going to be a defense on this base. The Zealots are going to go for it as well. 9 drones already going down. The Hatch doesn't die. Here come the Infestors, dropping a Fungal on the Zealots. Microbial Shroud for the Queens, but with the Zealot Archon, I just don't think there's a ground army for Elazer. Elazer needs something else other than these Infestors to truly support with the Archons here. And I think that's going to be his biggest problem, is we're just going to see ShoWTimE will continue to move on through this. Elazer's supply will drop, and as mentioned before and kind of alluded to, it's great killing the third base, but ShoWTimE still, yeah, the third base is almost losable because of what he can do on the follow-up, and that's exactly. Kick this off, bit of Beckett Industries action for us as we start in the bottom left corner of the map. No, we don't. We've just run away from there. We start in the bottom left corner of the map with the red Protoss player ShoWTimE from Big Esports. Up against the blue Zerg in the top right-hand corner from XCOM Argo, Elazer. Alright, well, as we get ourselves up and running, a few drones are already on the way out, and just going to be seeing that overload of Elazer moving through down to the bottom left-hand corner. We do have the probe of ShoWTimE coming in to scout a little bit as well, so that's how things will set up here initially. And one more map will seal the deal for ShoWTimE, while Elazer needs to win 2 in a row, has to win Beckett, and then 2,000 atmospheres is map 7 if we do get there, if we do get all tied up, which would be exciting. I'm genuinely excited for the bracket draw. I really, so Soul, Lambo, Max Pax, and whoever wins here will go in as the high seeds, and they will play against Mana, Bly, Vanya, and obviously whoever loses here as well. Ooh, it's exciting, isn't it? I'm actually really excited, guys. Again, tomorrow's playoffs are going to be a little bit different to the Korean playoffs because we will do best of 3 quarterfinals, but best of 5 semis and finals. In Korea, we just did best of 3s and then best of 5 finals. So it'll be a little bit of a longer stream tomorrow, and I'm excited for that too because it feels like we've just not been able to put together a long stream lately. There's just not been much combining to be done as of late, so not much to be done there. As we kind of get our way through the early game, getting ourselves set up. Link speed, couple lings, Stargate, all the usual stuff on the way out at the moment. I mean, Stargate every single series, so saying every single game so far in this series. Not really surprising. It's the go-to for a reason. Maybe at some point mixing a Twilight Council would be nice, just to change it up, but I mean, the thing is, the Stargate is so good and so has so many kind of stars of its own anyway. You can get away with just going Stargate and then guess what? More Stargates again and again and again and again. You know. Drones get chased away to the top as we do see our link speed going to finish. We're going to see a few of these dronies getting chased out. Why are they so far? I mean, they just ran. So this game, he didn't lose 7 workers, but he had to run his workers to the other side of the map, basically, to not lose them. Oh my god. I don't know what it is, but Elazer's early game is just a little bit shaky, you know? It's just got holes, glaring holes, really, that ShoWTimE is just punching and abusing every single time. He's just using them up to, you know, he's just using them to kind of open up deeper wounds in Elazer's early game, and just giving himself some really good positions. A couple of depths going through, a couple links still going down. Just going to be having the Adept's going to shade towards the natural. Ling's at least chasing, and this time I do think we've got ourselves some dead Adepts without more drones falling. Elazer has actually defended the Adepts this time, and that is genuinely nice. As you go Robo real quickly this game. Ooh. I wonder what we do with this faster Robo. Obviously, Robo can be for a lot of defensive stuff. Wow, ShoWTimE missed microed on the Oracle. Missed so many potential drone kills and still gets 2 more at the end. Other 2 Oracles defending at home. So it's just triple Oracle into Robo. I mean, triple Oracle is very, very scary to have when you go up against a Green Walk. So maybe we just go like something really quick with the Robo to help you defend against a Queen Walk. That would be my initial assumption, because obviously it's a very short map and hence Green Walks can be pretty good, even though the entryways to the bases are narrow. Sometimes that doesn't make up for the speed at which those units can arrive at. Yeah, Oracle's cleaning up a lot of the Lings trying to hit that third as well, so that's a lot of Lings that end up going down for not much gains. A little bit unfortunate perhaps as we otherwise continue through. And dropping a Revelation. Queen going to get tagged up a little bit and just going to be seeing our Oracles continue to move around here. I'm going to move around the top. A hatchery on the bottom side is going to be finishing fairly soon. Five drones already going down, so some good continued damage right there so far. Just going to be seeing again. I mean, as the game continues, right, we're now at 11 drones killed and the 27 Lings. The Elazer maybe got a bit too overcommitted trying to deal some damage to the third base or so. I think that's one thing he maybe could have chilled out on just a little bit sooner, perhaps. Don't know if he needed to go quite as hard into that. Oracle's pulled back away down through to the south side. Just going to be seeing the gates, the gates, the Dark Shrine, and disrupted production too. So yeah, a bit of everything really for ShoWTimE once again. But you know, I think in a rightful sort of way, I don't think he should be too worried because he's getting, you know, disruptors out to defend. But then this is kind of what was happening on Lightshade, and then he did kind of die. So just needs to make sure he's doing it at the right pacing rather than just kind of, you know, going all out right away. There's a lot of unit production from Elazer on 67 drones. So his army supply might really start to kind of blow up here in the near future as he's just making a ton of overlords. It does not look like he's going to make any more workers. And ShoWTimE is going to be left to once again find himself defending against an aggressive Elazer. The only thing is that he's at least got a couple cannons over here this time already. That's already going to help him out a whole bunch more than before. Some Roach is already arriving on the left-hand side. Well, that's the fourth base, which I don't think you need to defend. Given the, you know, the situation here, I think you can get away with just kind of giving that up right away, and he will just cancel it. The only problem is a couple of pylons going down will supply block ShoWTimE, so now you can't actually warp in until new pylons come online, and he's still not started those. So ShoWTimE, big supply block, still supply blocked. I mean, Dark Shrine is finished, but what's good to Dark Shrine that you can't actually warp in off of? Elazer's just going to build drones off of this. So all of this was just to cancel a fourth base? That feels almost silly as, well, Disruptor Shot will miss everything. Good force fields. Next Disruptor Shot will go to the Roaches. Good split in half. It's tough because then you're kind of, you don't know which half of those Roaches you want to chase. And I think ShoWTimE is right just to dive on the few that he's already chasing. If you pull back to go for the ones that split away, you typically end up between all the Roach Ravager. And that's what Elazer's hoping for. So nice split away from Elazer, minimizing the damage and just trying to bait ShoWTimE into maybe making more of a mistake there as well. Ooh, nice Disruptor Shot there too. Like that connection on a good few Roaches. Heck yeah, that was fun. As our Zealots are going to show up over on this right-hand side. They will storm on in and already picking away at this hatchery. So hatchery is about to go down. And the counterattack's always going to be one of the good things here for ShoWTimE, as well as just the fact he's got a much better teched-up army compared to Roach Ravagers. So using these Zealots well, Roaches are running around after them. And ShoWTimE just putting some pressure on with, like I say, what is just this army that's a little bit more potent when it comes to its overall ability and affordability. Break through the rocks on the left side. Disruptors kind of know this army is here. I mean, the funny thing is, it feels like those disruptors were already moving the wrong way. Like, they were getting too eager. And now, actually, they're maybe going to get punished for it, as the Oracles are going to try and get some kills. The activated Pulsar Beam. Going to start on a Queen. You're going to lose an Oracle here in a second. Transfusion was okay. I feel like ShoWTimE just got a little bit mixed up there. 13 drones going down. The Zealots that did make it to a mineral line and putting good damage onto Elazer's economy once more. Elazer getting to Vipers. If he can Viper abduct these disruptors as they fire, I mean, the disruptors are like a key portion of ShoWTimE's army. So if you can take that away from him and nullify those in the fight, you might be able to maybe then ShoWTimE can't offset the army supply difference. And then this game goes very differently, as we are going to see them still fighting, right? I mean, still looking to take these engagements. No Vipers here just yet. Disruptor's taking their time to fire. Nice split away. This first Disruptor don't hit a thing. Second one does catch units as they try and turn back to safety. ShoWTimE, just like I say, he's playing a very aggressive game, and I'm a little worried that supply does not really reflect in good ways. I mean, it feels like Elazer is about to have all those extra bits and pieces that maybe makes the difference for him. I don't understand why ShoWTimE feels like he can chase down Roach Ravager, but I'm just worried about the Vipers coming in. The Archon's at least a nice addition. They will bulk up this army a little bit. I mean, DT's on the other side of the map. The Stalkers actually just blinked as we jumped away to look at what was happening back at home. The Stalkers blinked to try and get the Vipers, and they got them. The question is, can these Archons trade well enough against these Roaches? And I honestly got to say, I don't really think so. DTs are defending against those Roaches, so not much happening on the counterattack. And ShoWTimE, at the very least, has brought the supply counts a lot closer together. I love this. These Oracles just coming back in. If there's no Queens nearby, this is just free damage for ShoWTimE onto the army of Elazer. As you're going to see the warping actually happening right here with extra Stalkers and the DT 2 showing up. Maybe this got some potential. The DT will start to go down as there is an Overseer, but all the Ravagers are gone. Roaches are going to get blinked on. Those Oracles are just killing things. I mean, not a lot of kills. I mean, 19 kills between them, obviously, from earlier in the game too, though. But obviously, so much of this is just low HP Roaches that are then vulnerable to some of those Stalker shots as well. Yeah, I think we've got ourselves a ShoWTimE who is looking very, very good in this game 6 to maybe just close it out and to win this out 4-2. Keep on pushing through. I mean, and now I don't think Elazer has the technology any longer. He does not have the Vipers that he once had. And this Stalker Archon and Mortal Force is a reinforcement wave that Elazer just can't really deal with here. GG, ShoWTimE is going to be the champ of this bracket. Maybe Elazer will get some vengeance tomorrow. Maybe him and ShoWTimE will both make their way through to the grand finals in the playoffs and get a rematch.